The USS Zumwalt, DDG-1000, is not merely called a ship. It is referred to as a mobile combat concept, with a development budget that consumed over $22 billion for just 3 units. The Zumwalt-class stands as the ultimate monument to American technological arrogance. Why would a nation possessing the world's most formidable Arleigh Burke fleet risk its entire shipbuilding budget for a decade on a design that resembles a massive, angular monolith from another world? The answer lies in a brutal reality. The era of traditional naval fleets is coming to an end. In the face of rising long-range anti-ship cruise missiles and trans-atmospheric early warning radars, the Zumwalt was born to solve that equation. It is not just a destroyer. It is an information black hole at sea, a ghost carrying the destructive power of the future. To understand why a minor fire at the Ingalls shipyard sends shivers through the Pentagon, we must peel back the layers and go deep into its core architecture, where the line between science fiction and military reality is permanently blurred. Multispectral stealth when 16,000 tons of steel vanishes. Look at the silhouette of the Zumwalt. It utilizes the tumble-home hull design, a complete reversal of modern shipbuilding. While conventional ships widen toward the deck to increase stability, every flat surface on the Zumwalt is calculated to ensure when a radar pulse from an enemy Aegis or S-400 system hits the hull, instead of reflecting back to the receiver, it is deflected downward into the ocean or scattered directly into the atmosphere. Composite materials and RAM. The entire deckhouse is not made of standard steel. It is a sophisticated hybrid of balsa wood, carbon fiber, and next-generation radar-absorbent material, RAM. This coating swallows photons from X-band and S-band radar waves, converting them into heat and effectively nullifying the return signal. Tactical implication. The result? A ship 600 feet long and weighing 16,000 tons appears on enemy radar as a blip no larger than a small wooden fishing boat. This allows the Zumwalt to penetrate deep into enemy littoral waters, the kill zone of coastal missile batteries, without triggering early warning systems. The IPS, heartbeat, energy as a weapon. But stealth is only the first step. To operate a flying fortress on water like this, you need a power source unprecedented in naval history. The heart of the Zumwalt is the Integrated Power System, IPS. This is an electrical revolution. Instead of using gas turbines to directly turn the propeller shafts, the Zumwalt uses 2 Rolls-Royce MT-30 turbines and 2 auxiliary generators to produce 78 megawatts of pure electrical power. The power of 78 megawatts. To put this in perspective, this is enough electricity to power 3 Arleigh Burke-class destroyers simultaneously or light up 78,000 American homes. Why such excess? Because the Zumwalt doesn't just use power for propulsion, directed energy weapons. With this massive electrical surplus, the Zumwalt is currently the only platform capable of mounting high-power interceptor lasers or future railguns. Acoustic stealth. The electric drive system eliminates the need for reduction gears, the loudest component on a warship. When operating in silent mode, the Zumwalt is virtually invisible to enemy attack submarines' passive sonar. This is dual stealth, invisible above the water and silent beneath the waves. The TSCE operating system, the supercomputer at sea. The Zumwalt's true strength lies not in its guns, but in its code. The Total Ship Computing Environment, TSCE, is a unified network that integrates all sensors, weapons, and life support systems. Cyber warfare and EW. The Zumwalt possesses the most sophisticated electronic warfare (EW) capabilities. It can analyze enemy radar frequencies in milliseconds and emit countersignals to spoof missile seekers, creating dozens of false targets on the enemy's screen. Hyper-automation. Thanks to the TSCE, a vessel this massive requires only 147 sailors. Every system from damage control, as seen in the recent fire at Ingalls, to ammunition loading is robotized and remotely controlled, minimizing casualties in high-intensity combat. Mk-57 and the PVL's strategy, evolutionary survival. When stealth is compromised and the enemy launches a saturated strike, the Zumwalt relies on its final layer of defense, the Mach 57 VLS. Unlike older ships that group missiles in a single block in the center, The Zumwalt places them along the periphery, the Peripheral Vertical Launch System, PVLS. Why? This is the logic of survival. If the ship is struck in its magazine, the blast is vented outward toward the sea, rather than destroying the heart of the ship, the IPS, and the SMC command center. This is the highest level of crew protection in naval history. From the AG's failure to the CPS hypersonic trump card. Critics mock the removal of the 155mm Advanced Gun System, AGS, as a waste. In reality, it was a strategic pivot. The AGS was a 20th century weapon. The conventional prompt strike, CPS, hypersonic missile, is a 21st century weapon. The Zumwalt is the only ship with the size, the power, and the internal volume to house these divine arrows. Transitioning from a littoral fire support ship to a stealth hypersonic strike platform has turned the Zumwalt from a controversial project into America's strongest hand in deterring peer competitors. After all the technical analysis and cold-blooded war games, what is the conclusion? The USS Zumwalt is not a mistake. It is an expensive but necessary lesson. It was built for the first 15 minutes of a total war, the 15 minutes in which other ships would be pulverized. But the Zumwalt will be the one delivering the knockout blow from the shadows. The recent fire in Mississippi? That is not a sign of collapse. It is a scratch on the armor of a warrior in the midst of an evolution. When the Zumwalt returns to the high seas with a full load of hypersonic missiles, the geopolitical map will be redrawn. To those currently complacent with their missile defense shields, be warned, because the most dangerous enemy is not the one with the most guns, but the one you cannot see, cannot hear, and cannot stop once the blow has been struck. One final question for you. What will you do when you realize the ghost is standing right at your front door, but your radar screen is still deathly empty? The USS Zumwalt. The pinnacle of invisibility. Redefining naval power.